I have some pine wood here that I cut into two pieces that measure 14 by 5.5 inches, and then I have two pieces that measure 10 by 5.5 inches. And I did change the measurement on one of the smaller ones, so I trimmed it further along in the video to measure 9 by 5.5, so I just took an inch off one of these shorter boards. And I'm going to use my Wise Owl Antique Villa paint, and I'm going to paint all four pieces with the white paint. And since it's white paint, you may have to do two coats, or you can also use some of the Wise Owl stain eliminating primer for better coverage, and also it will prevent any bleed through on the wood. And then I set everything aside to dry. I have 4 popsicle sticks. I'm going to paint all 4 of those with some Wise Owl black, and I just need to paint the one side, and I'm going to set all those aside to dry as well. I went back to my wood once everything was dry, and I'm going to use some Elmer's wood glue to adhere these boards together. I'm starting with the smallest piece in one of the larger pieces, and I'm going to glue the larger piece on top of the smaller piece. And I'm only laying the larger board about a half an inch onto the smaller board. So I basically want to get almost like a staggered look. I'm using my straight edge to just make sure that I'm making the wood as straight as I can. And then I'm going to use my wood clamps to hold everything in place while that dries. Then I'm going to add some glue to the other side of the small board, and then I'm going to take the other smaller piece that we had cut, the 10 by 5.5 inch piece, and I'm going to glue that on top of the smallest board. So I basically have 2 of the boards glued on both sides of the smaller piece of wood, which is giving it like a staggered overlaid look. And I'm using my small wood clamps to hold everything together. Now, in the last piece of wood that we have left, I'm going to add some of the Elmer's wood glue to the edge here. The hot glue kind of just holds it in place so I can add the clamps in just while the Elmer's glue dries. And I'm going to place that behind the board here on the end. So I just rotated the boards going in front and behind each other. And I'm going to leave the clamps in place until everything fully dries. I also added some screws just for extra durability. So this is what we have once all the glue was dry. And I'm going to take the popsicle sticks, and I'm starting with the second board here. I'm going to measure the width of the board that is exposed, and I'm going to cut the popsicle stick to that length. Again, I like this little straight edge. It just helps me keep everything straight before I glue it down onto the board. I'm just marking so I remember where to place it, and then I'm going to add that popsicle stick to the second board. I'm going to take another popsicle stick and add it to my first board, and I'm adding a popsicle stick to each board to the top. You can make these go in any direction that you like, whether it be straight across or a little bit on an angle. And then I decided to move the popsicle stick on my second board down just a tiny bit. And then I'm going to paint the top portion from the popsicle stick up with some of the Wise Owl black. And that's going to be a hat. And you can pick really any color of your choice. I just like the black for the top hat. And I'm using my 2-inch Wise Owl angle brush. This is great for smaller projects. I'm going to fill in all of the areas that I need with the Wise Owl black. While that's drying, I took some popsicle sticks and I'm just cutting a little point at the top of them and then just trimming them to about 1 inch long. And these are just the smaller crafting popsicle sticks. Before I paint them, I decided to just do a little sanding on the edges where I cut so it wasn't as rough, and it kind of just helped make even a better point. And then I'm going to paint all 4 of those with some Mandarina Wise Owl paint. And I just did the one side depending on which direction I wanted the point to be in, depended on which side I painted with the Mandarina. Now you can also just hand paint this on your board. I like using the little wood cutouts. I just think it helps add some dimension to the project. And then I'm going to allow those to fully dry. Next I have these wood letters, and I'm going to use the word snow. I'm going to take my General Finishes Antique Walnut Gel Stain and a Gen Foam brush, and I'm just going to stain my wood letters. You can paint these also any color of your choice. And you could also just paint them black just to continue with the black and white colors. Once the gel stain is on, I just take a piece of paper towel and just rub it in. I'm going to give my board a very light sanding. This just helps smooth out the paint. And you can also distress if you want to make it more of a distressed look. And then you want to remove all of that sanding dust before moving forward. I'm going to use some Wise Owl furniture salve and my 2-inch palm brush on the top portion of the hat. It kind of just brightens the black paint and gives it more of a finished look. But this is a great top coat, especially for indoor projects. I have these wood split circle beads, and they're already pre-painted with the black. I'm going to glue them to the top here, and those are going to be the eyes. And then I'm going to take my little popsicle stick, and I decided to trim it a little more, and I'm going to glue that, and that is going to be our nose. I'm going to add the eyes and a nose to each piece of wood, and I'm almost making like a little family here. And you can make the little popsicle nose go in any direction. Then I'm going to glue the word snow on the bottom. You can use smaller letters if you don't like the N taking up most of the snowman, but I liked it like this. And to finish it off, I have some snowflakes that I'm just going to add to the top of each hat. I added the unfinished wood snowflakes to the adult hats, and then I did some of the smaller snowflakes to the 2 smaller ones. And you can really customize this however you'd like. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Paint products, tissue paper, transfers, and mesh stencils can all be found on our webpage at chalkitupfancy.com. And don't forget, you can also check out other tutorials on our webpage as well. Have a great day.